came to fight for the love of the game. Unstoppable, that's why I'm undefeated. Off the leash, out of the cage, an animal. That's why I'm undefeated. I know I can beat it. Won't give up, 'cause I believe it. Fight for the love of the game. Unstoppable, that's right, I'm undefeated. Strap in, feel the hum in your hands. This is 4D. Heat on my palms, grip locked, heart racing. Shoes hit the pedal, whole room shaking. Jersey on my back, hair pulled low and blazing. Every turn I take, got the ghosts I'm chasing. 4D in my veins, feel that fire when I play, when I move, when I...
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the CSRL Multi-Class Series as we are here for round 2 at the Hockenheimring, Baden-Württemberg, or just better known as Hockenheim here. And it looks like a little bit of a gray day, a little bit of a hazy day, but I don't think there's any rain in the forecast here tonight. But the drivers out there completing their qualifying session right now. And then it'll be time for another 45-minute race here. But with the multi-class, we'll see the LMP2s out there and the GT3s. We've seen a good one last week for the season opener at Sebring. And we've seen both class leaders late in the race have some issues, both of them getting taken out. It ended up being Bryce Reiner getting the win in the LMP2 Pro class. In the AM class, Jim Herrick got the win in the GT3 class in the Pro. Ricky Runner was able to take the win after Noah Bourgeois looked to be walking away with a dominant victory, but he got taken out late. And then Cesar Colon Torres in the AM class taking down the win. So they are your points leaders after round 1 of Sebring. But here tonight we're at Hockenheim, and it's a track that maybe doesn't get used too often here on the service, but hopefully these drivers are ready for it, because next week got a little rain in the forecast. But we got to take care of Hockenheim first. Carl Hammer joined in the booth by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, we're here in I guess technically my motherland, since I got German, Pennsylvania Dutch heritage. I guess Germany, I got to call, heritage home. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, a little bit different track. Last week Sebring, this week Hockenheim, and shorter, faster, more technical, and they're out here for 45 minutes. So it's going to be quite a bit of a race, I think, with the multi-class, and I think you'll see some more lapping of cars and getting intermingled, and that type of traffic will play a big part. We've seen that play a little bit of a part last week, as some of the drivers, obviously, maybe being in the way or not being in the way, and just making things a little more difficult. The LMP2 field and the regular field are about split in half tonight. There is 47 cars on track here tonight as they all got done qualifying. Your overall pole sitter is going to be Dace Keeling, and your outside pole sitter will be Craig Jancic for your LMP2s. Noah Bourgeois and Alex Zart will lead off your GT3 class. So looking forward to seeing those two get around. I know Carl's got I think you got the fancy new overlay.
I do. I was trying to get the paints all corrected before we end up bringing it up here. But we got a short pace lap here, so we're just going to get to it. And you can see the starting order here for tonight. But once again, big size field, and we are looking to have 47 drivers out there tonight, with Ian Southern, John Newman rounding out the back of the field here tonight. But same thing, we're going to have 3 divisions for each. You're going to have the LMP2 Pro, which will be denoted by the blue, the LMP2 Rookie denoted by red, and then LMP2 LMP2M, I'm not sure if I said that right, but LMP2M is going to be the red, and then LMP2 Rookie is going to be in black. And then for the GT3 class, the Pro are going to be in your green numbers. The purple are going to be the AM class drivers for GT3, and then same thing, black for the GT3 rookies. But we'll get everything up there on the screen, show you where everything is. But hopefully the starting grid will get through the order here as they're getting ready and heading off on their kind of half formation lap here, as they're starting about halfway through the track here. Not going to be a full pace lap here tonight. But once again, thank you to all the drivers out there for tuning up here tonight. And thank you to everyone out there in CRN Nation for getting ready for another one here. And we got some fancy new stuff that we're slowly rolling out one by one here. We got the obviously the starting grid that's coming back here again. Last week was the debut of that one. We got a new logo as well. Compliments of the other man here in the booth, Jimmy Covert. Getting bored one day. I want to spiffy it up here a little bit, make it look a little fresh. So we got a brand new CRN logo for everyone down there in the bottom right corner. We got a little bit of music as well for the pre and post race. Hopefully you enjoy it there, as we got written permission from the band's fan group, and we will. Continue to give it to you as long as we don't get any strikes or anything like that, as long as they allow us to. But either way, it's time to get to some racing here at Hockenheim as they head through what I consider kind of the stadium complex part of it, as you got some of the grandstands area here, the back half, the final sector of this track, and the grandstands kind of really wrap around here. But it's time to go racing here as we head on to the front stretch. And we wait for Barney to drop that first green flag of the night for the LMP2s. And we are indeed racing here at Hockenheim.
Well, they go through turn number 1, and that can be tricky with all them cars. Able to, looks like, make it through pretty squarely. But Nicola Lizon and Paul Bailey will end up in an incident back there, and we'll keep it going. We'll keep it covered here early on, but we'll cover those incidents here early on. In the next lap, because heavy racing whereas the tires are warming up here at Hockenheim.
Yeah, you see the GT3s getting their start, and Bourgeois leading them off the way here, and already almost to the back of the LMP2s, the ones that spun out here in the beginning. But good start here for the field. For some reason, SDK has got some of the drivers all kinds of mixed up here in the front of the field, but it is Craig Jancic that has taken the lead here early on. We'll try and take a look back and see how that happened here, but he's gotten around Bryce Reiner and Dace Keeling, and he is now your leader here in the overall and in the LMP2 class, and really just trying to get those tires warmed up. Jimmy, have you had a chance to get out here and see how long it actually takes to warm up these tires here tonight?
I was out there in the GT3, of course, and the good old McLaren, and it took about a lap and a half, 2 laps to really kind of feel planted where I could start running some pretty decent times out here. And nowhere near Noah Bourgeois, but I was out there doing some decent laps for my skill level. But it was a lot of fun out there. It's I don't mind this track at all, to be honest. Like I said, it does have some pretty heavy braking zones and some pretty technical places, and if you're gonna get around somebody, it is taking the chance of trying to get inside and making the other person uncomfortable. But Craig Jancic jumping out to the early lead here this week over Bryce Reiner, and then Dace Keeling there in second, and then Savani back there in fourth, and then Justin Flagg for your top 5 for your LMP2s. Noah Bourgeois, Christopher Hamilton, Alex Zart, Ricky Renner, and Jason Phillips for your top 5 for the GT3s.
I was hoping after one lap it would correct itself, because again it's got like 6 drivers right now showing ahead of all the LMP2s in the field here. I'm not
no idea why.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but just little curveballs here and there is what always happens to us. But yeah, a great size field out here again, and Jimmy, I know for the longest time they were trying to get 40 plus drivers out here for CSRL, and they don't do it just once here to start this season. They do it back-to-back nights, and I mean, heck, almost 50 cars out here tonight. So great showing, great start early, and especially with these multi-class series, they can sometimes get a little bit worrisome, a little bit sketchy, a little bit heated sometimes. As well as I do, when you're multi-class racing, whether you're in the faster car or the slower car, incidents can happen. I mean, we've seen it last week again with both of our leaders having some issues, and the leaders, the ones that were dominating most of the race, not end up winning the race at the end of the night. So, luckily there was no kind of drop-off, at least after race 1. Hopefully they can keep these kind of numbers all season, because it's great to see all these cars out here on the track.
Yeah, it's kind of, obviously drivers get into a league like this, and, they get a bad taste in their mouth, or they find, themselves with a
No!
a rival. Like right off the
Michael
bat, you can
Latanya
see a
goes
spin
around.
around there. Yeah, so Michael Latanya with a little spin around right before the start finish line. Because I was just right on board with Cameron Burke.
Jimmy, it's fixing itself.
Right in front of me.
Not to stop you, but it's fixing itself. Yay!
Hey, hey. Just had to do a lap or two. And it might just be the way iRacing timing kind of comes in. And it takes a minute for SDK to catch up. But, we've been using SDK for quite a few years, and it has its ups and downs, but it's been overall a real good product and real easy to use compared to some of the other things out there. For broadcasting, once you figure out how to manipulate the overlays, it's you can make them look pretty nice. And there's some people out there that can really know some coding. Wish I knew a little bit more coding than I do. It takes me quite a while to figure something out and get something to work the way that we'd like it to work. But either way, the broadcast is really kind of coming together here.
I mean, like, there's sometimes that we don't work the way we want to work. So.
Well, yeah. Well, another incident here, and another an LMP2 round that there's GT3s had to avoid. So that was Logan Brame. So incidents continue to happen here, and it's easy to catch a curb. And right in front of Dave Tilford. Oh, the Mustang goes flying. I'm not quite sure who that was. I think that was Cesar Torres.
They're trying to see who that is. It's the 007 of Cesar Clone Torres. Not sure if he was cutting across Dave Tilford or Tilford came across into him, but backs it into the wall. Looks like he's going to kind of get away with it here. That back right or back left tire is certainly sticking out. And, well, maybe not, as it looks like he locks it up, turns it into pit lane, and looks like he is going to get some early repairs on that one. Dave Tilford also in the pits. Logan or Branson, he's seen the LMP2 for him, no back end on it, so he's going to get in there and get some repairs done as well. But I'll get you back live here.
That was a late dive there by a 007 to get in the pits. Almost like he oh no, pits there.
90-degree turn left. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a little bit wide. From, I believe that was Jim Herrick going wide there in the Refordiate machine. It's a little bit wide there. Not exactly the optimal line heading into the stadium section. Yeah, there was indeed Jim Herrick. But already some pit stops, but it's not unlikely here in CSRL with the 45-minute race length and the amount of fuel that they hold in the cars. They can make it on one pit stop. So no matter if they come in on lap 1 or middle of the race once they run out of fuel. We haven't really seen it work out for the LMP2s yet. I'm not sure if we noticed Jimmy in race number 1 an LMP2 coming in early, if they were able to make it all the way to the end, because I mean even on full fuel these LMP2s don't get the fuel mileage that the GT3s do.
No, as a matter of fact, they run about 45 minutes, I think, on a full tank, and that's on most tracks. I do know they need to come in before the GT3s. I mean, during the Sebring, it was the first thing I noticed was the LMP2s going in before me as I passed by them, and they were still in the pits, and then they come out and be in your way again. So, had plenty of experience with LMP2s being in a GT3 car here just this past weekend, and it's just been a lot of fun, just kind of come out here and you get to see the other side of it, get to see them racing and whatnot, but not a whole lot. Looking at the intervals, Carl, not many tight racing spots on the track.
Yeah, right up front here.
4P number 2.
Yeah, right up front. We're looking at Dace Keeling right here, trying to get back into second place. As you see, right up ahead of them, Craig Jancic working around some lap traffic right now, coming into turn number 2. Keeling all over the backside of the 87 of Bryce Reiner, your winner from race number 1. That got mighty close, and Reiner trying to play blocker here as they're side by side through the Parabolica, and Keeling is going to have that place, but side drafting at a premium here. Heading down now into the hairpin, and a great defense there from Reiner. He's got the elbows out there for sure, and maybe giving a little bit of a a thank you back to to Craig Jancic from last week, as Jancic was the one that was kind of playing blocker, kind of playing the teammate last week, helping Reiner get the win. And now maybe kind of giving some payback and letting Jancic stretch out here a little bit as he holds off Dace Keelan. But that was close to both of them seeing the fences here early on. As you're looking back here, this is the 36 of Justin Flagg, 5th place in the running. He's second in the rookies right now. And it'll be great to see once these rookies kind of graduate out. I don't think they have it the same as the core series, where it takes them 5 races to kind of graduate out of the rookie division, if you want to say that, and go into their pro or AM. I think as soon as the admins realize, okay, this guy's clearly good enough to be a pro, or this guy needs some work and we're going to put him in the AM class, they do it as quick as possible. So hopefully we'll see less and less of those black category rookie cars out there in both the LMP2 and GT3. But either way, pretty good start here from majority of the field. Kind of tough. I promise you there is a track map under there. There's just so many dang cars out there on the track that you just got to imagine the dots are the track right now, as they're all over the place right now. And that's probably the only thing that's tough. But if we made the dots any smaller, you wouldn't be able to see what numbers they are. And it's short of making the map huge and making it across the entire screen so you can see what's going on. That's about it, but we don't want to do that. We want you to see the racing action in the middle and almost 3 wide right there.
Yeah, so
there's pockets. There's pockets of racing for sure.
Yeah, there's pockets of racing. I would say another pocket back in, looks around 17th, or I think that's where you're
That's
looking.
what we're watching right now. And that was a little tasty right there, as Jordan Fox tried to poke his nose in the side of Avery Pedley.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those them tracks. You can really gain some spots if you're really good with brakes. You see somebody going really wide there with around
Jason Potts.
Avery Pedley. Yeah, so Jason Potts taking a little detour. But that's the back of the pack for the LMP2s, racing hard here, and it's good to see that a little bit of action all over the place. But John Newman going in the pits right at the moment. GT3 is kind of spread out a little bit, and I don't know if it's just the track here for these drivers, or if the LMP2s have kind of split them up a little bit. So obviously a little bit slower through the corners and trying to take their time and get around, and trying to probably just survive. And that's what I mean. Obviously, that's what you do on a lot of tracks, Carl. Is, you go out there and you're racing the track. Obviously, you got your other competitors out there, and you're trying to stay in front of them, but you're just trying to survive. And now you add the likes of the LMP2, and obviously faster, more downforce, and but they don't necessarily get into the corners much faster. They can usually take the corners tighter, and their acceleration is kind of lackluster when it comes to some of the corners. They really can beat the GT3s when it comes to top end, and there's not a whole lot of place to run top end, so they really got to set the GT3 up and get them on a clean exit, or get them going into a turn so they can get around them here fairly easy. But I think it's been a pretty good race here. It does look like Brandon Potts has crashed. Glenn Lazan has crashed not too long ago. And now Jordan Fox just going off the track. So, and I think you're going to see the off tracks here. There's a lot of places that if you're not familiar with, you can grab an off track pretty easily. But a move to the outside there by the Porsche, one of the ace machines, off the left side of Stefan Price, back around 15th place.
Got a couple new sponsors here for this series as well, and definitely want to send a thank you and a shout out to them as well. As we'll have Chandelure Leather, and we got my brain farting already on the new one. It is Expo brand assets, as they are the ones that are bringing on the Sim Gaming Expo. They did it back in 2025, and we're bringing it back again in 2026, as it's going to be September 18th to the 20th through the 20th at the Schaumburg Renaissance Convention Center. And I know a few drivers for sure. Here in CSRL, all met up at the convention center last year, and really had a great time at the show. Even after the show, I'm pretty sure our man, one of our other sponsors here in the series, Jim Herrick, was there with 40 Racewear as well, getting to promote some of his products that he has. So a really great opportunity if you are anywhere near the Schaumburg Renaissance Convention Center, I believe, in Illinois. I have to double check on that one, but again, that's coming up in September 18th to the 20th. So, hey, if anybody wants to get me an early birthday present, my birthday is September 29th. You can get me some tickets and some airfare, and I would love to go there for sure. But either way, if not, I'll sit back here and enjoy the racing here from the comfort of my own home, and some good racing right now. Craig Jancic is your leader. Base Keeling was able to get around Bryce Reiner, as you see right here. They are second and third. Siviani Madrigal, Justin Flagg, your top five in the LMP2 class. In the GT3, it is Noah Bourgeois leading Chris Hamilton, Alex Zart, Ricky Renner, and Tyler Torville.
Yeah, just trying to watch some of the quick battles and the lower numbers here on the timing tower, and that they still have the second third are still continuing to battle. So Ricky Renner and Dace Keeling has got around Bryce Reiner, excuse me. So that has just happened not too long ago. So a switch for second and third. And then that battle continues to be close. And then around Logan Key, right in front of him, you have Christopher Reagan, and they're running nose to tail as well at the moment. So just continuing to watch some of these drivers get around here, and some have some few incidents here, catching in some off tracks. I'm seeing going across the screen, but that could just be just going a little bit wide here. It doesn't look like it's anything as significant. When they go out there, you just get the one off track, and then it goes, then they're back on track. So,
well, it's tough too, because this is one of those tracks with the hairpin right here that they're coming up to at the end of the Parabolica. You're so slow that we've seen before. It seemed to be a little bit better this time that we've come to Hockenheim, but we've seen before when we come to Hockenheim, the cars go so slow there that you'll see car after car after car after car saying, this car crashed, this one crashed, and all it is they're going so slow that SDK thinks that they crashed, when all it is just going a little bit slow into the hairpin. But yeah, I mean, all in all, considering there's this many dang cars on the track, and looks like we still have 46 of them out there running, as we are clicking away the time here. We're already past the third of the race here in the books, and a pretty good one right now is looking at Siviani Madrigal working through some of that lap traffic, trying desperately to keep pace with those top three. But right now, Craig Jancic got to a 2-second lead. Dace Keeling maybe stretching out here a little bit, about 0.6 of a second ahead of Bryce Reiner, who has a 2.4-second lead over Siviani Madrigal. Good to see Marco Chacon back out there. Been a while since we've seen Chacon out there. A previous champion, I believe, here in CSRL quite a few seasons ago. One of our first seasons, maybe even the first season that we brought on here for CSRL. But good to see him back out there as he's in the LMP2, and that was a bit of a fortuitous dive, to say the least, by the 99 of Herbert Pineda, and you see him coming back on the track right now, taking a bit of the access road there. Not sure if the brakes didn't work, if the brakes locked up, or what the case was.
He locked up. Yeah, okay. I just watched replay. Yeah. right rear locked up, and the way he went, there was no control in that one. He's probably very lucky to even to be able to catch it and get it slowed down and not get in the wall. These LMP2s, Carl, I know you've got a little bit of time in them. They, when you lock them up, they just slide. It feels like they're on ice, and
yes.
High downforce or not, they just go, and it's tough because you're really trying to learn how those brakes work in those cars, and you don't want to be too gentle with them, but you don't want to be too forceful with them. So it's a very tender thing for those cars, and it's one of their kind of well, the cold tires was my downfall with the Dane car, and as soon as I get past that, I'm usually okay. But yeah, I'd have to say I probably lean more to this being a little more gentler with them because I've had my fair shares of lock up the tires and just blow through a corner like it's nothing, like there's no turning in the car. Like what's the steering wheel for? I don't know because it doesn't turn. But yeah, definitely can be a challenging car at times, and especially when the tires heat up and the brakes heat up and they don't work the way you want them to. But Craig Janicek still out front over Dace Keeling and Bryce Reiner for your top three in the LMP2s. Noah Bourgeois starting to stretch it out just a little bit over his competitor Christopher Hamilton out there tonight in second, and Alex Zart sitting at MP number 3 for your GT3s.
Once again, I want to thank everyone out there in CRN Nation for tuning in tonight. Hit that
He
like
did it
and
again.
subscribe. Yeah, the 99. I did see that. I did catch that. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. As we have our Wednesday double header tonight, we're right here at Hockenheim for CSRL, and then we will have Pit Road Speed Limit Racing coming up right after. Jimmy, do we know where Pit Road is here tonight?
Pit Road Speed Limit Racing is that. Give me 1 second. I made this. I made the schedule, not schedule, but the streams.
I got it.
Early.
I found it, I believe, unless they have the wrong one. I think they're in Texas here tonight for the start of round number 2.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
the
Yes.
round of 8, not round number 2, but
Round of
technically the second round of the playoffs. So down to 8 drivers. So some good late season action over there, and Texas definitely a good fun track as well. But for here at Hockenheim, it is Craig Janicek leading the way, but not by much. That is Dace Keeling right behind him, and then right behind him, Bryce Reiner, the top 3. Throw a blanket over him right now as we are getting close to that halfway point. Very close, only maybe about a lap away from halfway. Top 3 covered by 0.6 of a second right now. Actually, sorry, about less than a second right now for the top 3 in the LMP2 class. Can't really say the same for your GT3 class as we hop on board here with Noah Bourgeois and the Red Bull Mercedes doing some domination here at Hockenheim and trying to make up for what was somewhat taken away from him last week, as he has now got a 5-second lead over Chris Hamilton.
Yeah, just another one of them technical tracks, and maybe he's out there trying to get his Max Verstappen on as he blinks out there. So, I was telling Larry on this weekend when we were at the Sebring, we had a Red Bull Mercedes in front of us when we started, or behind us and in front of us. So there was Max Verstappen strong out there, but. I told him, I said, if they go in the grass behind you, you better just yell out Max Verstappen, dum da dum dum. He just kind of chuckled. And of course it was, I think, some point in the race he yelled it out. I was like, oh, is there Red Bull off in the grass kid? He's like, yeah. So it was a lot. Like I said, it was a lot of fun. We don't get out the cars very often, me and you, and I know, you ran earlier on Friday, I ran Saturday, as we talked about on Monday night a little bit to the fans out there. But yeah, it's kind of looking forward to the next one already. So no matter where it's at, I think it's Watkins Glen, but it could be something else. I thought Watkins Glen was a little bit later myself. I think I have to double check the schedule. It doesn't take long before those things turn around, and you can't claim. Oh, also I got a bone. You can't claim any early birthday gifts yet, because my birthday hasn't passed yet because it's Friday. So anyone wants to give me an early birthday gift, it's Friday.
Well, hey, I mean, we'll both take it. I mean, we're not going to complain. You'll just have to wait to use yours if it's the Sim Gaming Expo present. I'll only have to wait a week. You'll have to wait a few months. But yeah, definitely a happy birthday to you, or early birthday to you out there. But right now, this has been a pretty good race as we're past the halfway point now. Craig Janicek now able to stretch out his lead here a little bit, working through some lap traffic at the front of the field, as they're going to be doing that quite a lot. It's one thing that's kind of nice about these short tracks is everybody eventually, you see it. I mean, you see the craziness right now. Janicek heading into turn number 2 on the inside of the 19th place car of Brandon Powell getting around him right now. Actually, check that. That's the 19th position, I believe, in the GT3 class. But either way, you see how easy it can be getting involved in traffic. And Jancic had about a 1.5 second lead, and right away it's down to 0.6 as Dace Keeling closes right back on the back bumper. And you see right there is the number 87 of Bryce Reiner still well within the picture as well. But definitely some pockets of racing still going on all around the track, and trying to bring you as much coverage as possible, trying to keep it on exciting so we can see as many battles out there on the track as possible. But it's hard to cover them all. Working on some other things in the works, in the process, as we're always trying to evolve, always trying to bring you the best that we can out there, and maybe have some new things developing potentially here in the near future that we can maybe give you even better coverage out there. But that'll just be our little teaser here, and make you stay in touch with CRN here to see what else we got coming for you. But so far, so good as your leader into the pits.
Leader in the pits, Craig Jancic there. So I did see Reagan. Reagan. Reagan was in the pits. Christopher Reagan. And I thought when I caught him, he was and he pulled into the pits, and I seen a bumper pop out. So obviously has a little bit of damage on that 119, but in perfect timing, I think, at the moment. So he might be feeling a little bit better. He's also the one repping the 40 Expo LMP2 car out there, so it looks pretty good there. Got like a teal, blue, and black, so it just kind of match their design and logo that you see on the bottom right hand side of your screen. So just another car out there, just making things happen here tonight. So yeah, thanks to those new sponsors that decided to hop on board here with CSRL. Great to have them on board and join this great racing. But you see Avery Pedley crashing there. Was in a battle not too long ago. I'd like to check to see what happened there, but it does look like just a self spin. Oh! Nope, he got involved with a couple bursts.
Try and take a look here. Looks like it might have started here. Yeah, let it loose a couple times. I think he got those tires angry. And then, gets together with the 43. I'm not sure who came in there at the end, but yeah, that's another thing, Jimmy. As bad as these tires are cold, and you know as well as I do, that first lap on these cold tires here in the LMP2 is not exactly fun. They're not that great when you get them a little angry as well. You take a little bit of a slide through a corner. It's going to take just a little bit. It's going to take a few corners to kind of get them back under control, and they don't look like Pedley really gave that much time to do so. And unfortunately, ended up spinning around because of it.
Yeah, mixing it up just a little bit. So some few drivers having some issues, but if not right now, because Craig Jancic came in, he's right now currently back out on the track, and he's in 7th. So it's going to be interesting to see when Dace and the rest of the gang decide to come in, if Craig can make those spots back up. Because Craig wasn't too far ahead of Dace Keeling, but right now, obviously back just a little bit. And Carl, one of the things that I like to have on my set of overlays for iRacing, especially for endurance racing, is like because we pit so often, is my overlay gives me kind of an indicator like where I would come out. So if Craig is anything like I am and is running something like that, he might have seen an area where he would be in a window of like clear racing, so he could come back out and run, get his cars warmed up and get back to, I doubt he changed tires, but just get back out and to run a quick laps again, and it could be more beneficial, especially if he had a lot of traffic in front of him where he was at the time. Bryce Reiner coming in the pits now as well. Noah Bridgewall, Christopher Hamilton's in the pits as well. So your 1-2 drivers up in your GT3s are now in the pits. Your third place for GT3s is going to be Ricky Redder. Doing a fantastic job up 2 spots. Biggest mover of the race is actually overall is Cameron Burke. He's also up 11 spots within class. Biggest mover of the at the moment, LMP2s, up 8 spots is Trent Blaylock, tied with Brandon Powell, and Jim Herricker now in the pits. So pit stops are really rounding out here as we're starting to wind down here. We're up to 28 minutes into this thing, so quite a bit of, a nice little chunk of racing going, but before you know it, they will be crossing that checkered flag.
Yeah, almost 30 minutes into this race, and kind of surprising that all of our GT3s have pit, and we still have LMP2s that have yet to come into the pits. Right now, your top 4 on track, Keeling, Flag, Chacon, and Blaylock, all yet to come into the pits, and you can say the same thing for Brandon Potts back there in 11th, but now Keeling is going to come into the pits, but everybody else has come in for a pit stop. It looks like Cameron Burke going to pick up a black flag on the exit pit road, so he's going to have to come back in and serve that either from pitting or from just got a little closeness right there, or there might have been from too many incidents or off tracks on the track. So Chacon is going to take back over the lead. He's going to go around for yet another lap here in the number 39. So took several seasons to get him back out here, but he is now back out in front one more time, but albeit temporarily until he comes in and makes his pit. But Dace Keeling is back out just in front of Craig Jancic, and Jancic, I'm not sure if he was trying to intimidate him or just trying to let him know I'm coming by, because Keeling out of the pits. Maybe the tire's not warmed up just yet. Jancic trying to take advantage of it. They're side by side through the Parabolica. Jancic is going to make the pass, but we'll see if Keeling goes right back at him here. Heading into the hairpin, Jancic goes defensive. It's going to force Keeling around the outside. We'll see if it's going to be a crossover. No. Parks it on the inside, does Jancic. It does not allow the crossover, so this is your battle. That's first, second, and third right there on your screen.
Yeah, it's he's
soon to be. Sorry, as Chacon's still out there.
Yeah, Chacon's still leading here, Carl. Yeah, it's obviously Craig's gonna do what he can to stay in front, and we can already tell what Dace is gonna. He's gonna put that bumper like right up the old 97 keister, yeah, and keep him on his toes, especially here in traffic. And I always we always talked about GTPs and LMP2s, and this is the one thing that we always said: one LMP2 or one GTP, and no problem getting around you. 2, they're jerks. So
here we go.
They're trying, they're trying to stay together here, and as you can see, Craig Jancic getting it in there, and trying to maybe use a little bit of that lap traffic to slow them up and get them a little bit of a cushion for at least a corner or two. And sometimes that's what you're thinking. Like, can I get this timed right? Can I get this car down around this corner, maybe at the exact time that, or right before, to make it more difficult for the car behind me? So. That's another thing of this multi-class racing that can kind of really, come into play. It's another thing to think about. It's not just getting around the track as fast as you can and hitting your marks. Now it's managing traffic, and then possibly managing traffic to, use the slower car for a pick, or even a faster car for a pick at that matter. So, it goes both ways, but doing a fantastic job with that battle here, obviously, and we'll continue to watch that, as it does look like Marco has finally come back in, but the battle between those leaders will continue to go. But I am looking at another battle back. Or is it a battle? No, it's 2 different classes. Battle for position overall, though, between the likes of the Ferrari of Michael Antania and Paul Bailey, trying to recover from earlier, I guess. So, but that's a battle for position. I didn't think it was 2 of the same classes. I don't have all fancy colors like Carl does. I'm just looking at names.
Well, it looks like the Coors Banquet LMP2 is gonna find a way around the slower Marlboro Ferrari of Paul Bailey, or
I would hope so.
of Michael Antania. But yeah, it's really great to see how these drivers are handling each other around there. I mean, it's an art form as a lap car. I mean, whether it's, whether you're in a slower class, whether you're in the same class. We see another battle heading down to the hairpin here once again between your leaders. As a lap car, you can, handle getting lapped so many different ways, but ultimately you got to think about, how's it best going to help me out by letting them by. It's not going to help racing them into the corners. It's not going to help trying to defend and trying to stay on the lead lap or whatever it is. You're better off backing it up early and then tucking in right behind them to get a good run through the corner and not lose that much pace. If you're battling them for 2-3 corners, you're losing tenths every single corner, where you're better off losing 1/10 real quick, getting in there behind them, and then you're right back into your groove and racing. But some lap cars just like to push the envelope, like to race, and it makes zero sense. I've seen it myself in the Sebring 12-hour, where we were up towards the front majority of the race, and we were all GT3s in there. We got lucky and it wasn't multi-class racing, but it was still lap cars that we were trying to get around. And whether they just came out of the pits or whether we were just coming up and lapping them, we were faster, but they wanted to race around several corners, whether it's staying on the outside or making us go around the outside. And one, it's holding us up, but it's also holding them up. So it's an art form to be a lap car as well. So even if you get out here and you feel like, I'm not on pace at all, there's no way I'm going to be able to compete, I can't get a top 5, top 10, let alone any chance at a win, you can still learn things. You can still how to learn to race around these faster drivers, and you can see those lines that they're taking. When you get lapped, stay behind them as much as you can and try and see what they're doing. Maybe they're braking a little bit later than you. Maybe they're trail braking. Maybe they're taking a corner a different way than you. But you're not going to find that out by trying to race them, and all of a sudden you take yourself out and maybe take both of you out in the process.
Yeah, it's obviously you talk about it, the different ways the drivers can get around here, and you guys got lucky and didn't have to deal with the LMP2s or the GT3s, and and a lot of drivers are like, man, I wish I didn't have it raced with all the other cars for 12 hours. But actually, it's not that bad. I mean, we had less GT3s to deal with, but we also, you did have to worry about people coming up behind you a lot, and a lot of times I'd just give them the inside, and they'd go in and they'd, after under braking, I know it would mess their line, like I know it would mess their times up, but and I would barely lose anything because I would go wide and I'd tuck right in on their bumper, and I would have to stutter on the throttle just like a second because the LMP2s, like I said, are pretty doggy when they're coming out of a corner, and even the GTPs, they had to really kind of watch those because they're going so fast. But when they get into a tight turn, they have to they actually brake before a GT3 or even an LMP2 would. So you have to be careful if you're right up on them when you're coming up on a corner. And that's the knowledge and experience that once you've done it a bunch of times, all right, they're going to be braking earlier than my braking point, and I'm right on their bumper. So what do you do? Well, you're going to end up backing your corner up just a little bit as well. So they kind of just make that transition, make those moves easier, try to eliminate the loss of lap time. And you see some of the, if you guys were able to see all these drivers lap times, they're varying, they're jumping up and down. Noah Bourgeois' last lap was a 137, his fastest lap was a 136. So it's that balance, that you're losing a whole second, and some other drivers are even more more than that. You can go back to, Cameron Burke. He had a 138. It was his fastest lap, and his last lap was a 140. So it's just, it's how they're managing traffic, and the better that you're at managing traffic and letting people go by, the less time you're going to go off of your average time. Because sometimes, even Carl and I know Carl knows it, because we all like to and try to do it, especially when the cooler temperatures come out. Try to get the fastest lap of the race for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a goal of mine. If I can't win the race, or even if I can, I like to try and get a fast lap in there before I'm out of the car. But you see right there, we did have a pass for the lead as Jancic overshot the corner. Dace Keeling right there to capitalize, takes over the lead, and now it's taken a little bit, almost a full lap for Jancic to kind of seem to get that LMP2 back under control. But he's got his teammate, Bryce Reiner, all over the backside of him right now. And the question is, yeah, you talked about Formula One earlier on. Is there any kind of team call here? And the fact that, Craig, it's starting to get late in the race. Late in the race at Sebring, he seemed to struggle a little bit as well and kind of had to play blocker for Reiner because he had nothing for him. Do they maybe switch it up here and see if Reiner can make any kind of run at Keeling here to reel him back in for the both of them? Or is it just status quo, is just race, and if you get around me, you get around me, but I'm not going to just pull over and let you by?
I mean, they're both Reiner and Jancic are very competitive, and Reiner's just Craig is just having had a little bit of trouble with the corner, and very rare that you see Craig make a mistake, and it takes that. And I think I mentioned it, was it last week, that usually your top drivers, especially every week, if they're running 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1 or whatever order the top 3 run, they're usually waiting for somebody to make a mistake, and that might have been the mistake that cost Craig Jancic this race, as we only have about 5.5 minutes left here for this one here at Hockenheim, with Trace Keeling in the lead over Craig Jancic and Bryce Reiner, and then back for your your GT3s. Noah Bourgeois is still leading over Christopher Hamilton back there in second. And it looks like about, is that 3 seconds? I think it's about 3 seconds.
Yeah, 3 seconds. Yep,
Yeah.
3 seconds back to Chris.
Yeah, about 3 seconds. And then you have Ricky Renner back there for third place. So, races are pretty much all spread around, and not real many battles going on between, except up front, obviously, with your leaders. And then you have Christopher Reagan in a battle there.
Steve
well
Marussia, that's what we're looking at right now, side by side out of the hairpin, as Reagan looking to go around the outside, but he's not going to be able to get it done. He tries to cross over, and he's going to tuck back in behind Marussia again. Just cannot make that pass for 9th overall, as this is one of the battles, but we got some more battles. We'll take a look back here through the field. Not for overall position, but not for anything else. You got Logan or Branson trying to get around Kyle Kobler. Frank Pisano into the side of Christian Ortiz-Torres, and they are going to go around.
Is that right in front of your leader, the overall leader? And that happened right in front of the overall leader, as that little spin there with Frank Pisano and Christian Ortiz-Torres, as they were trying to battle out and trying to get that move done. And then we could go back just a little bit farther to Ian Southern. We haven't talked about him too much here, but he's in a battle there with as well with Jay Little.
Yeah, and it looked like Dace Keeling was able to get away from that battle. That spin right there, and actually help himself out 1.7 seconds now in front overall over Craig Jancic, who's now stretched out to about a second over Bryce Reiner, but now getting caught up behind the 11 here as well, so it's going to allow Reiner to close in a little bit here once again, but held up behind lap traffic himself, as he's got an LMP2 stuck in front of him right now. He's not going to pull out the way, and he's going to have to try and get around this GT3 as quick as possible to try and keep pace with Jancic. But out front, it is Dace Keeling. Should be seeing the white flag next time by, as this race has kind of flown by here. Keeling in the lead, Jancic, Reiner, Madrigal, and Flag for your top 5 in the LMP2. In the GT3, not as much of a domination as we seen last week at Sebring before he was taken out late in the race, but this race ain't over just yet, as Noah Bourgeois takes the 2 to go sign here on the front stretch. He leads by 3.6 seconds over Chris Hamilton, Ricky Renner, Alex Zart, Tyler Torville for your top 5 in the GT3 class. But it was late in the race that we seen a a lot of shenanigans happened last week. We'll see if anything happens here to any of our leaders late in this one, but certainly a nice little comfortable feeling right now if you're in the 6 car here for Dace Keeling, as he's got a bit of a clear track in front of him, 2.4 second lead back to Jancic, and we'll go ahead and hop on board and see that white flag from Barney, which I believe should be on the right-hand side here as we come out. And there you go, Barney waving that white flag. One more lap to go here at Hockenheim.
Yeah, one more lap, and obviously Dace has got a teammate behind him a little bit. Not that the 8 would hold up, Paul Smith would hold up Craig Jancic very much, but there is that gap there, and might just make him take a little longer way around to make sure he can't touch his teammate. Well, I don't know if they're teammates, but they are running in low numbers and same color paint scheme, so I would assume they are. It does look like Avery Pedley continuing to have issues here tonight, having another incident here on this last lap, but Craig Jensen is going to make that move past the 8, but just running out of time. Just not enough corners left or race for Craig Jensen to catch up to Dace. They should roll this one here pretty easily. Bryce Ryan in P number 3, and let's see Christopher Pagan trying to catch up one more spot to Steven Barusa. And then let's see, everybody in the GT3 is kind of spread out, so looking pretty good for Noah Bourgeois and Christopher Hamill, Ricky Renner.
Yeah, watching one of the only battles here on the track as Steven Barusa still holding on to 9th place. Christopher Reagan trying to get by him as he's been running behind him for so long, just can't complete the pass. He's gotten alongside of him a few times. They'll head down into the hairpin for the final time, and it's one thing that's good about Hockenheim is you got some heavy braking zones, which a lot of times that will give you some passing opportunities. You have one into turn number 2, you have one at the end of the parabolic at their end of the hairpin. You even have one right here that can be a diving point as Barusa goes wide and to the outside. Now crossover here, just couldn't get the power down as Reagan got a little bit of a bobble coming out of the corner. Might have been the last chance right there as a checker flag is out for your leaders. We'll keep an eye on this battle here. Last spots in the top 10 through the only bank turn here on the track. Just could not get it done here. Maybe one last ditch effort. Dive to the inside here for the 119, but just can't hold the corner. 144 of Barusa gonna stay in that spot. Everything that Reagan could do, but it's not gonna happen here as he pulls up alongside. Great battle there to the end. We'll take a look as Noah Bourgeois already crossed the line. It looks like Chris Hamilton done so as well. He's gonna come home in 2nd. Ricky Renner in 3rd for your GT3 class. But what a battle! What a drive here at the end, and it's showing Craig Jancic as your winner. So we may need to take a look at that. Let's take a look at iRacing here real quick.
I don't have the results yet.
Yeah, iRacing is saying Dace Keeling, so it could just be SDK giving us some fits as it sometimes does for whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, I'm seeing from SDK, at least from here, that it is a win for Dace Keeling. Oh, never mind. I'm an idiot because I'm looking. He's not in the pro class yet. I would think after this race he'll be moved up to the pro class. But he is going to be your overall winner. As we will we'll take a look at the final results here. And Jimmy, while we get these drivers all done and dusted, well, let me make sure. Yeah, we do have the race results up. So we'll go ahead and take a look at our final results here for the night.
Yeah, your final results of the night here, and just kind of run through them all, and we'll go through overall. But Dace Keeling, Craig Jensen, Bryce Reiner for your top 3 for your LMP2. The rest of the field is going to be Savani Madrigal, Justin Flagg, Marcus Chacon, Trent Blaylock, Jim Dutton, Steve Barusa, Christopher Reagan, Logan Key, Anthony Hutchinson, Brandon Powell, Jim Herrick, Glenn Lazon, Paul Smith, Brandon Potts, Jason Potts for your top 18. And then your next bit of drivers here is going to be Michael Brolowski for your top 20, or Avery Pedley at 19, and Michael Brolaski for your top 20 overall, and that mostly consists of your LMP2s. Back in first place for your GT3s, and your winner is going to be Noah Bourgeois over Christopher Hamilton. Ricky Renner in third, and then Alex Zart, Tyler Sorville, Michael Schwartz. And then you got, looks like you have the likes of Logan Bryan back in there for LMP2. And then you have Kyle Kobler in seventh place. Greg Conway, Christopher Ortiz Torres, Michael Antenia. And for your top 10, Dave Tilford rounds out your, and he'll be in 11th for your GT3. Paul Bailey back there, and I think 22nd for the LMP2s. Frank Fasano is going to be at 12th, 13th Ian Southern, 14th Jason Little, Cesar Colon Torres back there with Ian Wilson, Javi Sierra, John Newman, Cameron Burke, Stephen Price. Stefan Price, excuse me, John Espada, and then you have a few other drivers in LMP2s in the back not having great races. I heard Pineda that we've seen slide off the track, Jordan Fox, Jason Phillips, and the GT3 not having a great job, or not, I say not doing a great job, not being able to finish very well tonight, and then Bevan McCombs in the LMP2. It's 47 drivers out there, plenty of drivers. Feel free to join and visit coreracingleague.com. When the results are posted, they usually go up in there as one of our partners leagues, so you can see the stats and point standings as well.
While we're waiting for our drivers here, as we're going to have, looks like 7 interviews here tonight. We'll get our sponsor reads taken care of here tonight, as today's race coverage is brought to you by Chandelure Leather, heritage quality goods handcrafted on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Every wallet, clutch, and custom piece is built with purpose, made to wear in, not out, and crafted to carry your story for years to come. From everyday essentials to small batch limited run builds, Chandelure Leather delivers timeless craftsmanship you can feel. Find your next lifelong companion at chandelureleather.com. 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and get the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. For Martin PC, they're focused on providing high-quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in sim racing is exactly the same as racing with an actual car. They take that same methodology at Martin, from the engine PC to the chassis rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter. You deserve components that match your desire to compete. Also want to thank Ace Motorsports for sponsoring the pole sitters here tonight. Thank Digital Sim Sports for the Clean Driver Award for the season. And thank Chris Burrell for the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Award, which tonight is going to go to, it looks like, Ian Southern, up 11 spots after starting in 46th position. But let's go ahead and start picking through our drivers here that are going to get their well-deserved interviews. It looks like, unfortunately, we're gonna be missing one of them here tonight. But we'll go ahead and start with our overall winner, and Jimmy, that's going to be Dace Keeling in the number 6.
Hey, Days, this is Jimmy and Carl. I'm in the booth. You copy?
Copy. What's up, guys?
Hey, another great night here at CSRL, and able to kind of get the pole here tonight and eventually work your way back to the lead. Craig giving you quite a bit of a battle there for some time, as it took you a little bit to kind of get back up there and get around that number 90 or 87, excuse me.
Yeah.
But, great battling overall, and a great run there for the front. So how was it out here tonight at Hockenheim?
It was fun. I was way too tentative to start the race, which dropped me down to third, but it was a lot harder to pass than I remember it being here. It might just be the fixed setup. When the last time I did it, it was a 6-hour endurance, but yeah, it was really tough to pass.
Yeah, I didn't partake in this 6-hour endurance event here. I have some time here in the LMP2s, and yeah, the fixed setups can definitely be challenging at times, but you get it done right. You get it done the way it should be done here, and obviously get the win. So I want to say congratulations and give you some time for any shout outs that you might have in that number 6.
No shout outs, just really fun race. I had a great time battling with Craig and Bryce, and um, yeah, that was I. It was intense. I was probably white knuckling my wheel the entire race.
Well, hopefully your hand grips don't wear off on your steering wheel, and
It's brand
we
new. I
could.
hope not.
Well, yeah, me neither. So we look forward to seeing you next week, and keep it up with a great race. And again, congratulations. Why don't you go celebrate this one with your friends and family?
Thanks, guys. You guys have a good
Yes,
one.
sir. You too.
That is your overall winner here tonight in the LMP2 rookie class, at least for now. But I would think he's probably going to be moving out and maybe in that pro class by next week. That is Day Scaling in the number 6. Second place overall, but the top LMP2 Pro Class winner here tonight is going to be Craig Jancic in at the number 97. Craig, heck of a drive from you here tonight, and you really had a potential race-winning car for sure here tonight, and a great battle with Day Scaling that we just got done talking to. But it seemed like maybe a little bit of the same from last week. It seemed like the pace of that car just ebbed a little bit towards the end of this thing. You fell off maybe just a little bit, or was it any kind of contact, or was it just straight up lap cars?
Yeah, I mean, I can come up with a chain excuses, but at the end of the day, the driver's the one that locked up the tires. And it was just
That doesn't help either.
Whoops.
unfortunate. I don't know if you caught it in
We
race,
did.
but
Yep.
there's just Blue Stadium one time. And it seems like with Dace's pace and even with Bryce's pace from last week, it's one mistake is too many. And I know I'm gonna technically get credit for the pro class win here, but I mean, give it 3 more weeks and Dace will be a pro, so it'll technically not matter. So I apologize if I was late to the booth here, but I wasn't even expecting this one because it was just in my mind already a foregone conclusion that it wasn't really mine. But yeah, I don't know if it's me not having the fixed setup under wraps yet because um, you know just got off of a huge Sebring win with Bryce in the 12 hour by over a lap from the competition. So like it's not like it's an actual disagreement with the LMP2 here. It's just I don't know, maybe the fixed setup has different cambers or something that's just really throwing off how I feel about the front of this car by the time the race end comes. So we'll get back in the lab. We'll figure it out. It's race 2 of a very long season, and he's not getting away in points, and honestly, we're not going to let him because the schedule is too good for me to not win the championship in. So we're gonna fight back and live another day.
Well, listen, I know this interview is for you. You're the one that won the pro class here, and you're the one that came home in second here tonight. But I know you enjoy others driving well and doing well just as much. And I mean, I gotta imagine that you got to feel pretty good about Bryce Reiner so far in the beginning of this season and his pace, not just last week, but now here, giving you a run for your money here tonight.
Absolutely, without a doubt. I think of it's probably about 2 calendar years ago at this point, a particular incident with Mr. Reiner at this very racetrack on the
Yes.
last lap that
Yes.
ended up costing him a championship in this league. And I think about where we're at now with racecraft and like I said, he and I just on Friday won Sebring 12 hours by over a lap in this very car. Um, that's not easy to do, especially in second split. It's a huge accomplishment. We're really, really proud of it. And it's amazing, right? Like we think about and it's not just him, look at Trent Blaylock, pro class, top 7 finish. And maybe the GT3 is not his jam, maybe pro is. He's crushing it in here. Look at it, look at even Jim, man. It's awesome to see these guys with really strong finishes and a lot to show for it towards the points here, just because we open these cars up a little bit. It's not going to be perfect every week for everybody, but what it's going to allow is people to flex different muscles than they've been able to flex in CSRL before. And yeah, I'm proud of my teammates for sure, but I'm really proud of the league as a whole for taking this on and having what I would say is a really, really successful first 2 weeks without a doubt.
Well, I know we don't have the LMP2 class, but I'd love to see what you could do over in the Core GT series that's going to be starting up tomorrow night, considering it is open, and first time in I think ever that we've had any kind of open class over there. So I'd
Oh
love to
wow.
see what you guys could do over there. But I know a lot of people have different leagues on different nights, and can't make that happen. But either way, you make it happen here tonight in the LMP2 class, getting the pro win in the LMP2 class. Maybe not the overall that you wanted, but you're still there. You're still in the top three, and you still get the chance to talk to us. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. So, we'll
Yeah,
give
who's
you
really losing here?
exactly. So, we'll give you some time to give any shout outs or things that you may have.
Yeah, I will say I have a ton of interest in being able to run Thursdays. I just can't do it right now. So I want to get involved, and I think there's pathways for me to be able to do it. It's just not something that's possible at this time. So I do look forward to getting even more involved in core than I already have been. So keep that in the back of your mind as we look forward. But I'm going to dedicate most of the thanks here to the league. It's CSRL has really it's just been impeccable, and we somehow found a way to even make it a touch better. And I'm really proud to be part of it. You guys at Core always thank you so much. We wouldn't be able to really do this without you guys. So cheers. And my team, Digital Sim Sports, Bryce is actually helped me get up to speed here more than anything in this car, and I really appreciate him for that. And my family, mom, dad, Aunt Sandy, Anna, Uncle Lee, Chris, everybody that's watching at home as well. Thank you. Get well soon, Dad. We love you. And yeah, it's onward. I don't even know where we're looking next week, man. You know, off the top of your head.
Algarve, and maybe a little bit of
Oh
chance of rain
yes.
as well.
I can tell you after looking at the UI. I'm not going to say maybe bring your umbrellas. I'm going to say bring your galoshes.
Very interesting. I know that's what Core GT is going to be dealing with tomorrow, right here at this track at Hockenheim. It is going to be
Nice.
maybe a bit of a monsoon, so a lot a
Yeah.
lot of different looks here at Hockenheim over
Yeah. Yeah.
these two days. But either way, congrats
Right.
on your second place here tonight. We'll see you at Algarve and see if you can go 3-2-1 to start the season.
We'll do our best, man. Cheers. Appreciate you guys.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, and your top spot here in the LMP2 Pro class, Craig Jancic in the number 97. Steve Marusa was the winner in the LMP2 AMA class, finishing ninth as we watched that epic battle all the way to the end. He was able to come home in ninth overall, so great run for the 114, but unfortunately, or 144, sorry, but unfortunately he won't be able to chat with us here tonight. So we'll go ahead and switch it over to the GT3 class, and we're going to go ahead and start. Jimmy, our winner here, maybe making a little amends for last week, is going to be the 24 of Noah Bourgeois.
Carl's doing this to me on purpose because I think last week I said if Noah could finish a race, he could win a race. And with
yeah.
the multi-class racing, and we got kind of taken away last week. So get a little bit of a redemption here tonight, Noah, and getting things done the way you usually do. And actually, it looked like you had your hands a little bit full there with the likes of Christopher Hamilton.
Yeah, Chris is always bad fast. I knew he was going to be a tough challenge here. I was really happy to kind of get a good gap on him in the first sector of the race before the pit stop. And then once we got into traffic between lap cars and LMP2, it was just an absolute gong show. And LMP2 is going off in front of me and having incidents, and then others passing me and throwing crazy dive bombs and stuff. It's taking some getting used to. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but we got to work with it here. I've got a negative bias from Sebring for LMP2s. Between CSRL and the 12-hour, I just was murdered completely. So a little bit of negative bias, but we're gonna work with it here and just try and do the best we can in our own GT3 class.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm right there with you. I was out there and we had a battlefield at Sebring, so I know what it's like to be out there with multi-class and and be the slower car and trying to run your race and then have to worry about somebody overdriving or whatever. But you get it done here tonight. You pull away the victory here for the GT3 car. So we want to always recognize and say congratulations. Give you a little time for any shouts you might have before you get out of here.
Appreciate it, guys. Huge shout out to FMR Motorsports, my boys Kyle and Al. They've been huge part of this whole ordeal. We're kind of trying to give FMR Motorsports like a round 2 and take it a little more seriously type of thing. So huge shout out to them. Shout out to the girlfriend as always. She's super supportive of me. Shout out to Dad out there, my brother. They're both watching, I'm pretty sure. So shout out to them. Appreciate all their support. And we'll go try and survive next week at Algarve in what I do believe is wet weather racing. So just
Little bit,
one
little bit.
more little notch of chaos. So we'll see how that goes.
You're gonna turn the chaos up one more notch, and at a not so favorite track or an uncommon track here at Algarve. So I wish you the best of luck. Hope and we'll see you next week. But until then, we'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family.
Thanks, guys.
Yes,
Hopefully,
sir.
I'll catch my breath by next weekend. Or next week.
Take the weekend off.
Yeah, for sure. Later, guys.
Later.
That is your top spot in the GT3 class, your pro class winner, the 24 of Nora Bourgeois. Top spot in the AM class is going to go to Christian Ortiz Torres in the number 11. Christian, we did catch you about mid-race. We got you a little bit of TV time, but not probably for the way you wanted, as you get into a little incident there with Frank Pisano. But either way, you were still able to get away and get yourself the AM class victory here tonight.
Yes, I was trying to do my best at the beginning to stay away from any incidents, and there was a lot of people that were fast in our A class, and so I was just trying to keep it consistent at the beginning, and then also try to go into the pits early, maybe see if that strategy worked, and but at the end, closer to the end, I ended up getting into an incident.
Well,
Luckily, I think I was ahead by a bit that I didn't penalize me too much, and I had low incident points too.
Last week at Sebring, it's a bigger track. You're able to kind of spread out a little bit, and you may not have cars on top of you lap after lap after lap. But here at Hockenheim, a little bit smaller track, and just obviously for us looking at the track map covered in dots all over the place. How chaotic was it out there tonight?
At the beginning, I did. I did see some incidents in front of me that I was able to avoid and get away from those. After that, it was just trying to pay attention to what was going on ahead of me and just be quick to react and make the right decisions.
Well, I got to ask you, looking ahead at next week, how do you feel about getting wet?
We'll do our best. Sometimes those races get exciting, so we'll get wet.
All right, buddy. Well, take some time. Certainly enjoy this AM class victory here tonight and 31st overall. But before we let you go here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Thank you guys and CSRL and also Black Saturn Racing, all those guys. Caesar, who was up there with me, but got into an incident. He was a fast guy today. And Brooke, who supports my sim racing, and she also likes sim racing. She gets on the rig, so maybe one day we'll see her here at the league.
I like it. Well, congrats again on your AM class victory here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see what you have for that wet weather coming next week.
All right. Thank you, guys. See you guys.
Sure.
That is your AM class victory here tonight in the GT3 class, the 11 of Christian Ortiz Torres. Kind of same situation. We don't have our winner for the rookies in the GT3 class, which ended up being Greg Conaway, not able to talk to us here tonight in the number 44. But we do have one more interview, and I'll go ahead and take it since I know Jimmy is getting ready for the other broadcast. This interview is going to be with one Ian Southern, the driver of the 444, and he is your Chris Brill Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight. Ian, we caught you a little bit in some battles at the back there with Jay Little for quite some time. You may have finished up a little higher if you were able to get the better of Jay, but talk to us about kind of the same thing, the same question I just asked Christian Ortiz Torres. How chaotic was it out there tonight?
Mate, it was chaotic, but even more so because I ran in from work and got on about 2 minutes before qualifying. Qualified like crap, and then on the first lap realized I didn't have a spotter, so then I'm scrambling to try and get a crew chief going. and I'm all over the road right at the back. So it was quite mayhem.
I mean, there's only 46 other cars out there, half of them being, 10 times faster than you. You don't need a spotter.
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is a tight, tricky little track. I mean, there's definitely some passing opportunities here at Hockenheim, as I mentioned, where you get some hard braking opportunities. So it helps in that case. But I would assume probably a lot of your passes here tonight were just kind of avoiding some of that chaos.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, just keeping my eye on my mirrors and not crashing into the people who were crashing.
Well, listen, I mean, at the end of the day, not only did you finish up 11 spots, but you come home second in the M class. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe rush and just barely make the session next week too. But I will say
maybe.
it's going to be a little wet.
Oh God.
So
Drive with the brake on.
yeah, and unfortunately with these fixed setups, you can't touch the TC, you can't do any kind of fancy things in the car,
No.
so you're hanging out for dear life. Forget the spotter. You're looking around at your own car trying to figure out how to control it.
Right. Oh.
All right, well, either way, buddy, I want to say congrats on moving up all those 11 positions here tonight, and
Thank you very much.
hopefully you can get there early enough to avoid some chaos again next week. And either way, we'll let you go celebrate. But before you do, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'll give a shout out to my dog Bella. She's laying next to me. She didn't harass me wanting to play. So
It's a good dog.
that was good.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again, and we'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Algarve.
Thanks, mate. Take it easy.
You
Bye,
too, buddy.
fellas.
That is your Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner, the 444 of Ian Southern. As that is going to put a wrap on it here tonight. I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that we have to offer here at CRN. And keep it tuned in here at CRN as we got our second half of the doubleheader coming up next here as we head to Texas for the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series. But for myself and Jimmy from Hockenheim, we'll see you at the track.
My heart bleeds adrenaline. The fire I breathe is where I live. Incredible, an animal. One life to live. I never give up, I never give in. Some people wanna turn and run, but the strong rise under the gun. Top to the top, ain't never gonna stop. To the top, to the top. Ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Fly high, or will I fall? Legends made when faith is strong.